The next thing I'm going to show you is the diabetic whole slide globe. So this is from AAO, and doing this will be very helpful because it'll blow it up large. So at the low power, we can see separation of the epithelium from the cornea. This is artifactual. At low power, you'll also be able to see that the angles are closed and that there is an ectropion uvei. So this is a bit of pigment epithelium from the back of the iris is being pulled forward to the anterior part of the iris due to contraction of a vascular membrane here. The irises are also quite flat. Normally, we would expect the iris root to be about here, so all this is adherent. The lens looks pretty okay. As we go around the outside, we can see that there is artifactual separation of the retina from the choroid. We can notice that there's a whole lot of vacuolation going on in the retina. This is where the optic nerve should be, but we can't see it. We can see some vascular outgrowth here forming this delicate membrane. Let's have a bit more of a close look anteriorly. Okay. But apart from this artifactual separation in the cornea, we can see that there's a normal basket weave in the cornea, that the endothelial cells are normal and descemes are normal. What we can see here in the lens is we have an anterior fibrous cataract. We've got lens cortical breakdown with this globule formation, and then we've had metaplasia of the epithelial cells underlying the basement membrane that forms the lens capsule into a fibroblastic type, and this has led to the formation of a cataract. Here in the angle, looking for the trabecular meshwork, not particularly well seen here. It should be about here. What we can see is adherent iris. And then this section shows very nicely the new vessels on the anterior surface of the iris, which aren't cuffed, in contrast to the original vessels. This is a diabetic eye, but we don't have vacuolation in this one of the posterior iris epithelium, probably because the diabetes is under control at the moment. This is the ectropion uvei. You can see it being pulled around. Let's go to the other angle. Here we go. Similar things are happening here. There's a hint of trabecular meshwork here. It's kind of been, I think, destroyed in the cutting or something, but it should be here. Lots of sclerosis on the ciliary body, suggesting that this is an older person. Okay, let's move backwards now through the pars plana into the retina proper. So we can see that this is a artifactual separation because the photoreceptors are preserved. They've just been pulled off. The choroid is looking okay in these pictures. So it's a diabetic eye. So we want to look for signs of diabetes or in particular laser treatment in the back of the eye. I haven't seen anything yet. We are getting some edema here posteriorly. That's what's causing these vacuoles. And of course, what we're also getting is the absence of the ganglion cell layer. Continuing posteriorly, and we're coming towards the macula now, you can see that the outer and inner nuclear layers are thickening up, but still no ganglion cells. I'm looking quite hard to see if there is any evidence of soft and hard exudates, but I haven't seen any. There's just all this edema. We've got a vessel here, but it looks okay. And we're coming round further to posteriorly now. Still not a lot of vascular change in the eye. You can see that this edema is disrupting the inner nuclear layer. So posteriorly, At this point, I would start asking the students for correlates of what they see with what's happening here. So now we're getting wrinkling of the surface of the retina. So this is abnormal, and this is caused by a fibrovascular membrane in the anterior retina that is contracting. So let's have a look at this fibrovascular membrane. It's quite easily seen here. So we've got retina, outer nuclear layer. The inner nuclear layer has gone just about, and there's still no ganglion cells, but these are the new vessels here and some uh, collagen fibers that are forming this fibrovascular membrane that is contracting to pull off the, so this would contract and pull off. This would cause some tractional detachment. We can't actually see it here, but causing the wrinkling of the anterior retina. This vessel here, it's got maybe, it's not great for a diabetic vessel. We'll have a look at the choroid in a minute and see if we can see anything. Okay, so here we are with this lovely wrinkled retina. And then here in the vitreous, we're starting to get this fibrovascular proliferation. So we've got little vessels forming a chain here in the anterior part of the vitreous. And here we can see the launching point, which will be around the optic disc. So we've got massive neovascularization in the posterior eye, as well as the anterior eye. I'm just going to scoot through the choroid here to see if I can find any diabetic vascular changes like wall thickening. And it is really not leaping out at me. You might argue those are slightly thick, but it's like not showing that nice hyalination that we get with diabetes. Ah, well. Okay, and if we come around here, we notice similar changes, and then we're back at the front of the eye. So I think that's all the features of this eye, and I will stop recording.